What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of BV Nation Radio. As always, I'm your host, J-Dub, as we broadcast live from the Cowboy Technology Studios right here on the end of the Oregon Trail here in rainy Oregon City, Oregon. And with me, as always, are my co-hosts. First off, the sexy girlfriend, Miss Mariah.
Oh, sexy girlfriend!
And as always, my fellow U.S. Army veteran, our resident outdoor expert, and my good buddy, the one, the only, the dapper sapper, Mr. John Toll.
Here's Johnny.
The show can wait. I need to look pretty.
And as always, the high-tech redneck himself, good old Josh. So head over and remember to check out our homepage of backwoodsvets.com, where you can catch up on all the latest and greatest of what's going on in BV Nation, as well as you can catch our current raffle that we have going on over there, helping benefit our friends from the Oregon chapter of the Fallen Outdoors. We have a recently reintroduced edition of the Battlefield Watch brought to us by our friends over at SMB, along with the TAC pen set. Tickets are $5 a piece. We're only giving away or raffling off 25 tickets. So with that being said, head over, get your tickets now. As soon as we get those tickets sold off, we will go ahead and do the drawing. And right now, the bucket's looking kind of skinny, folks. So in other words, go buy them now, because we can't raffle this off and until you guys go ahead and get that done. So with that being said, while you're here on our YouTube channel, be sure to click the subscribe button and hit that little bell so that way you know when we upload new content to our channel here on YouTube, as well as when we also go live with our flagship show of BV Nation Radio. Want to give a big shout out to our friends and sponsors up at Yaaarrrgh Armory and yaaarrrgh.com for all your shooting, reloading, and tactical needs, whatever it may be, whether shopping in store up out of Sandy, Oregon, or shopping online. Be sure to hit up our friends up at Yaaarrrgh Armory and yaaarrrgh.com.
Hey, speaking of Yaaarrrgh Armory,
yes,
there's been an addition to the military family.
There has been, yes. Eric's boy, Gabe, just graduated here the other day from boot camp, so out of MCRD San Diego. So congrats to him in joining the Marine Corps family and earning his EGA. So
yep, it's pretty was pretty awesome to watch there. So
absolutely it was. So they actually had to air the graduation ceremony online because thanks Corona, families couldn't be there. It's sad to say, but at least everyone got to watch the ceremony, which was actually pretty cool to see. So I'm sure there, John, if you got a chance to see it, I'm pretty sure it brought back some memories from for you.
Indeed.
For sure.
And
so
congrats to Gabe, for sure.
Absolutely. That's it's definitely quite the brotherhood he joined here the other day. So kudos to him. Indeed. So with that being said, We are a little bit behind the clock. We apologize for the for some reason our feed didn't want to really work all that well, but we got it up and going now. So share the show out, folks. Please, please, please share it out. So, because we can't do it without your guys' help. So, anyhow, round table. John, what's new? What's happening with you, brother? I know it's been a quite the interesting couple weeks for us here at the crew.
Well, there's not much new aside from what probably everybody else is going to discuss. We just made it through deer season. So, yeah, more to come on that season here in a little bit in the outdoor segment. And the mostly failure that it was and some of the other parts of it. But, yeah, other than that, just this weekend just been hanging out around the house, cleaning up gear, cleaning up equipment for elk season here coming up in just a little over a week.
Yes, yes, indeed. Looking forward to that here because, yeah, we're going to be all making our way over that way here next weekend. And
not all of us.
Most of us, at least. So
Supposed to be cold.
That's the rumor.
I am so glad I'll be home. Just saying.
Like,
No, that's kind of BS though.
It is BS.
Because the thing is when you're not there, that means that the white stuff comes down.
Mm-hmm. We have come to the determination that when we go to that part of the state, when you're not there, we get snow. When you are there, it doesn't. However, this year, at least deer hunting, we kind of debunked that, thankfully.
Yeah, we had summer, which was really odd.
Until like the last few days.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, so with that being said, Mariah, what's been going on with you since you've been kind of out of the group?
So this week was actually not a whirlwind week for me. Everything, yes, high tech. I said not a whirlwind.
There you go.
Well, whirlwind had to come up, just like we talked about last episode.
Actually getting back to a normal routine more now and everything after the fire evacuations, caregiving for some elderly people.
It's okay. You can save my folks. It's all right.
Yeah. Taking care of a bunch of other animals and everything. So I'm glad that things are getting back to normal schedule and everything. Other than that, not a whole lot's happening. Besides, the only big thing I have is that I got to move my horse back out to the barn where I board at.
Woo-hoo.
So that's kind of nice.
That's pretty neat.
Other than that, not a whole lot's going on with me. How about you, Josh?
You know, it's just been getting back to the grind there after coming back from 12 days away out deer hunting, and looking forward to wrapping up this week here and then heading back out for the elk hunt. So ran over to the area yesterday and did a little scouting. It's actually the same area we hunted last year, and so went ahead and checked back into some old game trails and stuff like that we'd seen, and checked to see if the animals are still moving in the same spot, and sure as shit they are.
Are you guys camping in the same spot where I went across the log?
No.
Okay.
No, we are not camping at your favorite log crossing.
Nope.
Because we know you like to scoot across wood.
So yeah, other than that, just been normal busyness at work and all that, and happy to be happy to be back there, but then again, have to be heading back out on the trail again.
Yes,
so.
Exactly. The change up to after being out for a couple weeks, coming home for a little bit to kind of rest, regroup, and get things put back together, whatnot, and basically like it is when you go to the field. You have your recovery time, and then it's
moist.
Those whirlwinds matter, by God.
I just read that too.
I know. I saw you read it.
But to get out of that stuff and have your recovery period, come home, regroup, and rest up, and we're gonna recock to head back out. I know Josh is gonna save that soundbite, I'm sure.
Did you say cock?
I said.
You said cock.
I didn't just say that. I said recock.
Cock.
Yep, there he goes.
And I'll say this to you three real quick. Sorry, I'm not going elk hunting with you.
It is shenanigans. We're gonna have to get you out there next year with us.
I had 3 weeks off in August.
Well,
so
guess what? You're going this year. This next year.
we'll see.
No, there is no we'll see. You're going to, because you've only been out with us one time. One time in the 8 years that you and I have spent together.
More than one.
Once.
More than one.
You have stomp rushed me one time.
All right, ladies.
Last year.
I came out last year, and we also went to the coast.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Ha.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but as far as actually having a tag.
You know what she called on you, right?
Yeah, I know.
Bullshit.
Okay, excuse me, twice.
Yes.
But this last time you didn't even have a tag. You just
At
went
least
to
I
win.
went out there and hiked with you guys.
You were a bird dog last year.
And what type of birds do you use for dog hunting?
Black Lab.
Thank you. All right, bird dog.
You guys all made it bad over hunting season.
Made what bad?
The term bird dog.
No.
Gave it a negative connotation.
We didn't make it bad.
Okay, moving right along, please. We're already running behind.
Why are you pushing the clock?
What do you think is the best type of breed to use for dog hunting?
See?
All right. Well, with that being said, it is 1:15 so John, you ready, good sir?
Yeah, this is going to be all of us talking.
All right, let's take it away, Josh. This outdoor segment is brought to you in part by Yaaarrrgh Armory. And now, for your outdoor segment host,
Here's Johnny.
How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and, well, I guess Mariah, too.
Are you saying I'm not a lady?
No, I'm just kidding, Mariah.
Oh my god.
Stop it.
You got bird dogged.
Yeah, you're not a lady. You're a bird dog. So, anyways, guys, thank you for joining in with us. Please, before we get started, check out Yaaarrrgh's Armory at yaaarrgharmory.com, or hit their website up. Give them a phone call if you're in the area. Go see what they have in stock for you. They can take care of all your shooting sports needs. Absolutely.
And they just restocked
patient
all of their
hats.
They just restocked all of their Mountain House foods there too.
Yes.
nice.
Just about to say that. Thank you very much. Help you.
Stop by there
Yes.
Friday.
Stop by, go see what they have in stock. Like Josh just said, they have a huge restock of Mountain House meals. So for backpacking and especially for hunting, I find them very useful for hunting and going out stomping through the brush.
Cassie and I actually had a Mountain House meal yesterday while we were out scouting.
Nice.
So yeah, go check them out and see what they have in stock for you. Be patient with them when it comes to ammo and guns. The industry is still insane right now. And with that, so this week we're going to talk about our awesome 12-day experience of hunting
Yeah.
in my backyard in the Ochiko National Forest this year. This year on the Ochiko side, though, not on the grizzly side. So, to start off with this picture, it was
pretty.
actually a really warm year this year for hunting season. We definitely had kind of a late Indian summer, but definitely pretty awesome to see some of the sunsets and sunrises, for that matter, that we also had out there.
Oh yeah.
Especially being up high in the morning, it was pretty spectacular. It never ceases to amaze me and re-edify to me how blessed I am to have grown up in this area and also still live and recreate in this area. So pretty cool. What'd you guys think?
Dude, I had a
How
blast,
neat is
man.
that? That's pretty neat.
I mean, it was, when I wasn't cooped up in the motorhome having to work remotely.
You know,
My
I
regular
can
job,
say
but
you guys got the nice weather while you were hunting. Here
which is
at home, because I was home while you guys were gone, it was foggy and cold in the mornings.
it was definitely pretty brisk in the mornings, but during the rest of the day into the evening time, it was gorgeous, you know. But once that sun went down, man, that temperature sure dropped off. But in all honesty, though, it was like complete opposite of what it was last year.
Last year we had snow.
Yeah, last year opening, you know, this year opening day we had, you know, mid 80s and everything else for highs. And last year opening day, just on the other side of Highway 26 on the north side of it, yeah, we had about, you know, what, about 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground opening morning. It's like, holy crap, dude, talk about a change. But it was really nice, though. It definitely kind of screwed things up a little bit because we had a harvest moon the first night we were there, the night before opening day. So it was just kind of like, oh boy, this is going to mess with things. But I mean,
it really did.
But weather-wise, though, I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous, man. It really was.
Right up until the second Saturday.
Yeah.
The second Saturday we had more normal
Moist.
hunting weather.
Moist.
Very moist. And
Yes.
cold, windy.
Yeah.
Very.
But it was kind of a nice. It was a nice contrast to what we'd been dealing with before. Like I was actually getting pretty pissed off actually about how warm it was.
It was actually kind of nice that it did rain on us there because it, you know, helped to wipe out all the old track and all that kind of stuff that we were seeing. So, you know, everything that you were seeing after Saturday was all fresh track and all that, and
It was.
made it a little easier.
It broke the cycle of how the deer seemed to have been moving. I mean, we still didn't see a whole lot of things with horns on it, which was what we were after. But it definitely seemed to break the cycle of what we were seeing before, which was not usual because obviously we had a late Indian summer this year. So instead of animals starting to move lower and stuff like that to start gorging themselves on food and water for getting ready for winter, they were up high.
Yep.
They were doing silly, stupid things that they're not supposed to be doing.
And the funny thing is about it is that we weren't the only ones that were having that problem. It was it was pretty much just being in the right place at the right time, you know, was what it boiled down to for the, you know, few people that did get animals out of there. And it was really weird to see. It really was.
Right.
So, because a lot of our old methods that we'd used that have been successful in the past, just nothing was panning out. I mean, we were getting on deer every time we went out. Every time we went out. But as far as like getting on something with horns, nope, just wasn't happening.
Are you saying they weren't horny for you?
I guess not. But one thing that was cool to see.
You did get to see your wild horses finally.
And my first question, why the hell didn't you take the trailer with you?
Because I wasn't looking for horses. I was looking for deer.
That one right behind the pine tree about in the middle of the picture, though, it's a cute little yearling.
Yeah. Yeah, nice little black yearling.
That'd be a nice one to break out.
Yeah, the Oshkosh Mustangs they're pretty prevalent. They've been around for, well, shit. I see them every time I go out into the Oshkos. It seems like pretty awesome.
And this was actually down there, just east of the Oshkosh Ranger Station. There on Forest Service Road 42.
Yep, they like to hang out there off the old Oshkosh Highway.
Yep. So that was Stefan and I were actually on our way out.
You got 11 in there. It's a pretty good size herd.
Oh, and there was another bunch that was farther up the road too.
Yeah, they're everywhere out there. They have huge herds. Oh, look, there's some of the species that we were looking for. Just
Yes.
not with horns.
Actually, this bunch right here, this was the bunch that we jumped. That was right behind. That wasn't too far from our camp. And I actually snapped this picture because I was like, oh yeah, all those. And this is one that me, Josh, and Stefan were out on. And that was the one that did have a buck in it, but I didn't quite have a shot because of the way he was standing and where he was standing. And then he took off and we chased him till literally we ran out of light. And that was the one where you linked up with us and wound up going down that quad trail and looping around on him.
Yeah.
So, and the next day somebody else got right down the road from camp. Son of a bitch. Anyhow.
So this year was different for me because I got to do a different method of hunting than I'm typically used to. I I have a motorized horse now. So this was actually kind of it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. Well, actually, I'm not going to say it was a curse. Actually, it was kind of a blessing. It was definitely different. Hunting off the back of an ATV. I found that the amount of ground you can cover in a day is incredible. Absolutely incredible. You can cover ground like nobody's business. And I found on the plus side of things, when you came across animals, they weren't as apt to be spooked as easily on a quad, even though the quads are louder than a diesel or a gas pickup truck or something like that. The quads are definitely louder. Like, you can hear them way further away.
Oh yeah, which is funny because you and I went out one day.
Give a shit.
Yeah, one day when you and I were out on them, you know, the couple bunches that we did jump, they just stood there and look at you like, what?
Yep.
What are you doing? I even had time to actually get off the quad, step off the road, grab the rifle, and actually beat down on a couple to get a better look through the optic. And they didn't care. They didn't move. They just milled around like, all right, whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
think of how many people go out recreating and quad riding just for fun.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
They get
but
numb
at
to
the
it.
same time, you would think that, you know, if you were to use that logic, you would also believe that they'd be used to hearing a lot of diesel rigs and everything else too, because of logging and
Diesel rigs
Forest
and-
Service and those guys up there working in that area as well.
The diesel rigs and gas rigs don't spook them a lot more than you do on back of a quad.
Oh yeah,
Like, hands down. They'll stand there and look at you on the quad. Like, every morning when Katrina and I would leave camp on the bikes, like, we'd jump a herd of does right off the bat, and they'd just sit there and look at us and carry on munching away and
yep.
didn't give a damn. Like, it was pretty nice. And then I'm stoked about this rifle, but I'm sad at the same time because I didn't get to kill anything with it yet. But goddamn, I love the new deer rifle, and hopefully Katrina's gonna kill an elk with it here in a week and a half.
Oh, she's not going to use her new elk gun that she got?
That is her new elk gun.
That one?
Yeah.
That is her new elk rifle. She's not that the 308 that she got is not going to be her elk rifle.
What?
No, the 6.5 was bought for her elk season. So she will be carrying that, and I will be carrying the 300 Win Mag.
Nice.
Alrighty, whatever
There you go.
works.
And this is up on top of Mount Siga. So up on one of the high points in the Ochcos, looking down towards Mitchell, and one of the buttes down towards Mitchell. So this was in the morning. You guys went up towards that way too that morning. You guys just didn't go up all the way to the top.
Right.
Yeah, we went to the Slide Mountain area, which is just west of where you were.
Yep.
Did you go down the slides?
Wah, wah, wah.
But I'm
There's Katrina, my bird dog for deer season.
She's gonna slap you.
You're going to be her bird dog for elk.
Oh, we both have tags for elk season.
Yeah,
So,
but you owe her now, see?
I do. No, she was awesome. Like, I don't know, it seemed like every time that I was in the lead when we'd be riding out somewhere, deer would bed down, and then as soon as she'd come up the road, they'd be up and looking at her. And so we ended up switching, and she would lead the way frequently. And so that's where I coined the term bird dog for her, because she's out flushing up deer in front of me. So not a negative term, as everybody is alluding to.
she said it, not us.
There's God's country right there, right there.
That's not God's Valley.
That's looking down towards Big Summit Prairie, from the top of Mount Siga, which is one of the lookouts. Lots of elk out there this year. Like, definitely, on the page of we need to just hunt the Ochocos next year. Period. And then we don't even have to move camp at all. Just go from deer season and stay in camp and roll right into elk season.
Just stay the entire month up there. Screw it.
Sounds like a plan.
The amount of elk that we
Okay.
saw. Whew,
Oh, that's no lie.
I'd
the
have
amount of elk we saw, it's time to hunt the Ochocos again for elk. So that would be
That's another
some more
deer.
does. More does. Just plodding along. Like, we saw a plethora of does, literally hundreds of does throughout the course of the season.
And the funny part is that there is no antlerless hunt in the Ochocos.
Yeah, I know, right? Nor if you have a disabled tag, can you take one, which I think is the part that blows my mind the most. Because you think with how many deer are in the Ochocos, you would think they would open that up for if you have a disabled permit to be able to take one. But nope.
No one said ODFW was smart.
I'm sorry, but this unit right here is a prime example as to how not smart Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife is in
Well,
regards to their population counts.
There's some other. I mean, there are definitely some bucks out there. Like, people were putting animals down,
Oh yeah,
putting some pretty decent animals down. I don't think I've told you guys yet, but when I went back to work this last week, last Monday, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he had a buddy that was hunting the grizzly side and put down a monster 6-point. And that was the
Nice.
news that I was hearing out of the grizzly side, was that there were a lot of big bucks over in the grizzly side, which I'm guessing they migrated out towards the grizzly unit. But, which is not uncommon. The only thing that separates the two units is a strip of asphalt.
Yep.
So it's still the same national forest and everything else, you know. But I mean, with the amount of yearlings that we saw and fawns, like, there's got to be a good number of bucks out there somewhere.
I think the
Because-
population is going to be a lot better next year with the amount of young deer that we've seen.
Yeah, I saw a lot
This
of.
year.
We saw a lot of bucks. Honestly, they were button bucks though.
Yeah,
So-
their horns weren't even breaking through the hide yet.
I asked Justin this, John. Did you remember to look up in the trees?
Oh Jesus!
I don't even want to ask why. but
I
I'm
would
gonna
say
do that.
don't ask.
Yeah,
The deer seem to climb the trees when they know it's their hunting season.
Moving right along.
Yep, exactly.
Duly noted. Yay, camp.
Camp, or at least one side of it.
Part of it, yeah. So, don't mind the Coleman tent in the middle. We set that up to save our campsite. Luckily, good thing that Katrina and I did.
Oh
go up
yeah,
there
dude.
2 nights before opening day, because we wouldn't have got our hunting camp. Because so just to give a little background, I grew up in Prineville. I've grown up hunting in the Ochocos and recreating in the Ochocos. I have never seen as many people on opening weekend as I have seen this
Oh
year.
my God, it was insane up there.
It didn't matter. Like, we went out to parts of the Ochocos where you basically have to be a local to know how to get there.
That's
And-
kind of funny because my parents went to Hepner, and they said the same thing on opening day, that the woods was just crawling with people.
Yep. We
Yeah.
couldn't get away from every corner you went around. You found another hunter.
Another hunter, another
Found
camp,
recreator
another
or
yeah.
something. And the thing that really pissed me off the most was the amount of California plates I saw driving around the woods.
California and Washington both.
Yeah. So Oregon shut down out-of-state hunting this year because of COVID. I've never wanted to be an OSP wildlife trooper more than this year. It would have been a freaking heyday.
Oh yeah.
And actually, the funny thing is, talking to one of my other buddies at work about this, for shits and giggles, they started taking pictures of like camps that had California plates in them, and these camps were bugging out like within a few hours of them stopping and taking pictures of that camp,
Right.
because they know they're not supposed to be out there hunting. Period. If you're a California resident or Washington resident and you're in this state right now hunting, you are wrong. You need to leave and stop screwing it up for the rest of us. like legitimately. That is, like, sorry, we don't make the rules, and this is actually a rule that
Yeah.
I'm perfectly okay with. You should not be in our state hunting right now if you are from Washington or California.
Right. I mean,
So, anyways,
and the whole time I only saw two OSP rigs up there, and they
Yeah.
were back to back, and they
Yes.
rolled right past our camp one afternoon.
Yes.
And that was like the third or fourth day that we were there, and that was it. Other than that,
yeah, they were hauling ass.
yeah.
Yes.
And didn't see or hear hide or hair of any other troopers in the area.
No, because they can't be bothered. They work for Kate Brown, so
Right.
they can't do their job anyways. They're not allowed to.
Yeah. About that. Hey,
Moving right along.
Josh, you had something?
No.
Oh, okay. You just kind of look like you had something to add to it. So,
Anyways,
yep.
so more does.
Hey, look.
Me being frustrated because we were looking at something and it was more does.
Right.
Pretty certain. Yeah, I mean that was kind of the ebb and flow of the whole trip until that Saturday that it rained, and Katrina and I actually met up with a couple friends of ours that were hunting over off of the northeast side of Big Summit Prairie, and we met up with them earlier in the day, and then we went down to Mitchell to get some food. This was when it was raining, and then we haphazardly ran into them again. They were kind of hunting the same area that we were, and I was chasing a herd of does that I had seen potentially a buck in,
Right.
and then our friend, I won't name her, but it was her first year or her first time hunting rifle in the Ochocos and hunting rifle for deer. Killed the buck that I was potentially chasing 30 minutes before I got to it. And it was a good solid 2x4, actually non-typical. It was pretty cool. Like, and I'm super stoked for her that she was able to fill her tag on first year that she was buck hunting.
Was
you know,
just chasing the
rifle.
same deer you were.
Yep, pretty much.
Totally random thing here that I know about deer and elk. When you say a 2x4, John, the side that had the 2, was it his right or left, or do you remember?
I don't remember.
So the side that has the small, lower number of points, it's the opposite side of the body that got injured on that year.
I don't think this one got injured, or at least they haven't said whether they found any injury with it.
It could have been a healed injury or anything, but when he was a 3-year-old, he got injured because therefore he didn't grow his third point. Kind of a weird thing, but deer and elk both do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Speaking of stuff going on with deer and elk hunting, so here coming up in our next segment, we have that's actually our main topic of discussion.
Yeah.
So, John, you got anything else to add?
No, man, just guys, like I said before, please go check out Eric's Armory at ericsarmory.com. This is a very astute observation when a twig breaks and straight pipes at 70. That can be said for a quad ripping down the road at freaking 40 miles an hour, too.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, please go hit up our sponsors, Eric and Jesse at ericsarmory.com. They can definitely take care of all your shooting sports needs. Go hit them up, give them a call. Like I said before, be patient with them when it comes to guns and ammo. Guys, the industry is crazy right now. I deal with it every day for a job, and it is insane. Be patient, for the love of God.
And remember, they're not allowing any drop-in right now, so you
Correct.
do need to call ahead for sure.
Yes.
Correct. So give them a call, see what they can have in stock, see what they can do for you. And with that, I will hand it back to you, Justin.
All right, let's go ahead and roll it up there, high tech. Next segment, Pops Takes. Go. We hope you brought the aloe and sunscreen.
Bullshit.
Because these takes are scorching hot. Now, get ready for some raw,
You went raw?
gritty, and unfiltered takes from the old man, Don himself.
She can't say the truth because it does makes her look like an idiot. Because that's what she is.
These are Pops Takes, right here on BB Nation Radio.
Bullshit.
Old man, what is going on? Welcome back from a little 2-week hiatus there.
Yeah, I kind of rusted up a little bit trying to get ready for this thing. I hear you guys did a little elk hunting and stuff, or deer hunting, and
Right.
scouted some elk and all that, and I'm really frustrated with you.
Why are you frustrated with me? What did I do? Aside from
Because-
the fact that we didn't get one.
Because you went and I couldn't go this You realize how many years it's been since I missed a deer hunt or an elk hunt, either one?
Well, technically you didn't miss one because you swapped out your tag for a Western tag, and your hunt's still going, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, if I
So
ever
why
get-
you're not out there trying to get one down right now is
Well, I can't go by myself. Remember that? Doctors don't want me out there by myself.
yeah, I know. Well, maybe Mom should go out and drive you around out there in the woods a little bit.
Yeah, I've talked to her a little bit about it. She's going to see about when she gets going better from that headache she's got.
Well, there you go.
But it's doing real good as far as that goes. I'm doing better every day a little bit, but still having spells where I don't see anything. All of a sudden, my mind is sharp, but the eyes aren't.
Understand. Gotcha.
They-
So that actually kind of brings us to this week's topic of discussion on here. Now, usually we talk like a lot of politics and everything else, and we understand, the election's less than right around 2 weeks away. But there's something else that's going on right now that is very, very big, especially with our followers here at PV Nation. And one of the big things that's going on right now, as you're talking about, like you mentioned before, is we just got back from doing a week and a half, almost 2-week deer hunt. You see back there, back behind us there, that little tent thing that's back there. Yeah, a lot of people out doing that and getting ready to go out and do more of that. And, that brings it, now you have literally a lifetime of, you're 80 years old now, but you literally have a lifetime of experience as far as being out there in the brush when it comes to hunting deer and elk. Now, I want to ask you to share with our listeners, because we still have a lot of deer hunting that's going on. Deer season, the general deer season just opened up across the river up there. And, a lot of folks are getting ready to hear. Now, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So, yeah, they just got done opening up the Washington deer hunt. And there's still a couple other ones that are going on, even here on the west side of the Cascades. For being able to get out there and increase their chances of success, what are some of your tips in regards to helping these guys out as far as helping, like I said, tips for increasing their chances of success?
Well, I guess I got to start with, what are you hunting?
Well, we're talking about deer right now.
Okay, now we got blacktail, and I believe right now in Minnesota and Wisconsin they've got the whitetail going.
Yeah, Midwest has got whitetail going right now.
As you know, I've whitetail in Minnesota and in Wisconsin. I've hunted blacktail here in the Cascades and in the Coast Range.
Right.
And I've also hunted mule deer up in the central area of Oregon, up there.
Right.
Fossil in that area a lot, and then we did some down Primeville and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of spent a lot of time out there every season that I've been in an area where there was a hunt.
Okay, well, then let's start off with blacktail.
All right, let's start with blacktail. Now you have to remember deer's habits, and the thing you need to do, if you haven't done, is sit down and study it a little bit. But blacktail will not; they'll just lay down there and let you walk right on by them, and just sit there and watch you, and you'll never know they were there. And once you get past everything, they'll get up and walk on back the other direction. Now whitetail, they're almost basically the same, but they I think about the only difference is that they're sneakier.
Okay, well, what do you mean?
Okay, I can give you for instance on that. When I was hunting up in the northern Minnesota, I guess it was, up in the Tamarack swamps up there on the Indian reservation.
Right.
And I was sitting on a stand up above a cleared out area, cut area.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple of hunters out there towards the middle of it. They were sitting on a stand out there. And I watched, because there's kind of a ditch going around that cutout area.
Right.
And I watched a white-tailed buck, a 4-point, well, 8 back there.
I was going to say, our 4-point or their 4-point?
Our 4-point, their 8-point. But I watched that thing get on its knees. I'm learning to walk on its knees all the way around to get past them and out and away from them.
Oh, wow.
They never even knew that deer was there.
Wow.
And it was just a little bit far for me to shoot with my, let's see, I had the 44 Magnum Ruger,
Right.
the carbine.
Gotcha.
And that's a little bit far for it when you're trying to shoot out there.
Yeah.
Over 150 yards.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's just how sneaky the whitetail are.
Now, what about muleys, though?
Muleys? Okay. When I hunted muleys, I always found out that the best way to do that is if you got a party of 3 or 4, you set 1 or 2 up on the top, one on each edge of a draw.
Okay.
And you'll find that you'll see paths going over the top. And they'll be right almost towards the center of it. And when they go over when somebody's down the bottom, they're not going to sneak around you. They're going right straight out the top, and mule deer will travel for miles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they go forever.
Your blacktail and your whitetail, now, blacktail probably, if they go in a 5-mile square area, that's a lot of area for them.
Yeah, because they like to stick closer to where they were
They stay
fawned
where they were
or
born.
foaled or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, where they were fawned, where they were born.
Yeah.
They'll stay there, and they will just circle. Now, there are exceptions to it. And the exceptions are if you get two bucks that grow up and they start getting pretty good size and breeding age.
They're going to start tussling with each
They're
other
gonna
and
fight
kick
each
one of
other.
the other ones out.
Right. The dominant one's going to take over.
Makes sense.
And they'll go look for another spot.
Right.
But basically, they're going to stay right there in that 4 or 5 square mile area. A mule deer, they actually migrate. And they'll go from high range to low range to mid range in your elevations and all. And the thing I found out about mule deer here in the last several years is their big habit now is they get in these little towns out there, and at night they go out and feed in the people's yards and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Towns.
Just ask John. Just ask our host John. He's had a nice big 4-point over the last couple weeks. That's been literally hanging out in his front yard at night. There in the middle of town, there in Prineville. I mean, you walk out first thing in the morning, you see fresh track and crap and everything else all over his front yard. He's just like, really, man? Come on.
Well, down the main street of Fossil, there's a place we used to like to go in to eat at.
Oh, yeah.
And
there at the Shamrock.
It was a big it was a major eating place in the evenings for all the hunters there around that
You're
area.
talking on the side of the mic, Pop.
Oh, I'm sorry. That better?
Yes, much better.
Okay. But that
You're
little-
still talking on the side.
that
There.
okay, I gotta turn it the other way. Sorry about that. I get busy thinking about this hunting stuff.
Right.
Concentrate on that, but I'll tell you, we were over there. We go into town at night to get something to eat at the Shamrock there.
Right.
And when we did, we'd have to almost push the deer out of the way, driving right down Main Street.
Right. That's no lie. I remember that. God.
Oh yeah, they bucks, does, fawns, everything,
Yep.
all over the town. And I don't know how big a population they had then. That was
I know it was only in the triple digits.
that's been 20 years ago. So.
Okay, so we're sitting here talking about all these deer and everything else. So now coming up here, I want to say here the end of November, beginning of December, we get into the late season deer hunting. Now at that point in time, a lot of your deer species are coming into rut, like particularly your muleys and your blacktail, and I'm pretty sure your whitetail are as well. Now, for late season deer hunting, what do you recommend? What are some tips that will help our help our viewers be more successful for those late season deer hunts?
Well, the first thing you got to do is do some scouting around before the season.
Right.
You got to find out where their habits are where they're going to feed, where they go to water,
Right.
and where they like to bed down. And then the other thing too is you want to find out where them does are running around at, and the does will be bunched up, and the next thing you know, the bucks will be going looking for them.
Now, could you use some? That's when a lot of folks will start using their call, not like your rattlers and your bleeds and things like that, right?
Right. Probably. I always thought the best thing that worked was either a doe call.
Mm-hmm.
And also, at the same time, while using a doe call, is every once in a while break in with rattling some horns.
Now, do you want? Now, I know a lot of people when it comes to using those horns for rattling. Now, do you want to? I'm trying to think of how to word this. Your aggressiveness with the rattling. How? When do you? Right, and then when do you get more aggressive, and then when do you start backing off it?
You start out kind of usually knocking against the trees and brush with your antlers and stuff, and not really clacking them together yet.
Right.
Because what they're doing, they're drawing attention to the other buck first to get rid of it.
Right.
And the throwing their antlers into the brush and stuff like that. It attracts both the doe and the bucks.
Okay.
So when the bucks get there, they see what they got. Especially an older buck, if they're bigger, they're going to go after them. If they're not,
right.
And normally you're going to find does pretty close to them.
Okay.
But I like to use a camera as much as I can before scouting around and putting it in place, and at least a week or so ahead of time when I can.
Right.
And you let it sit there for a while, and then check it out every other day and see what kind of travel you got and when they're traveling, and which direction they're traveling.
Okay.
And once you find out what direction they're traveling, and you can kind of look at the lay of land and figure out where they're going to cross over, if it's a draw or whatever.
Okay.
But the biggest thing about any animals is knowing your area.
Right.
And if you don't know it, go with somebody that does.
Makes perfect sense. So that brings me to my last question, the elephant in the room, because here coming up, as a matter of fact, this next weekend, our crew is actually taking off and heading towards Central Oregon once again, or at least the western part of Central Oregon, just outside of Sisters, for our elk hunt. Excuse me. And like I said, so we got a lot of folks with, in the western U.S., they're gearing up for going elk hunting. Now this is your forte right here. You're good with deer, but I tell you what, I have yet to come across anybody who has had as much success over the years as what you have when it comes to elk hunting. And that's not because of the fact that you're my dad. It's a simple fact. I mean, there's a reason why down the Oregon coast they have a meadow named after you. The locals do. Okay? So...
it took them 3 years to figure that out.
Yeah, I know, right? That was the funniest part about it. So, when it comes to hunting elk, what is your advice for having a successful elk hunt? Just right out the gate. I mean, just the overall aspect of it, not just with, we want to hear the method, we want to hear the timing, we want to hear habits that, what do you do?
Okay, let me start with the first thing I used to do.
Yeah.
When I really started getting successful, and that's when the game warden kept coming every opening morning, setting my camp and drinking my coffee and eating my cookies, waiting for me to come.
I remember that too. Oh my gosh.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
He'd just wait there because he knew that me and my party would at least be bringing him one, usually 2 or 3 the first morning.
First morning, yep.
But yes, remember we'd leave. My hunting partner and I would leave camp at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God! Yes, I remember some
We
of
would-
those mornings.
We would hike in the rain or in the dark, and on these old cat roads that had the and all that stuff built, growing up in the middle of it, and everything slapping you in the face, and
Right.
never take a light. You didn't dare go with a light, and you'd get in the spot where we knew, and every year the elk would come right out of the meadows when everybody started getting up at camp. They'd come right through the meadows out the other side, right to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually within 20 minutes after daylight or before,
Right.
right from the beginning of daylight on for 40 minutes, we almost always had at least 1 to 3 animals on the ground.
So what would you say would be, so overall, to summarize what you're saying now, is basically you want to get up early, first thing, find an area where they're at first,
Yeah.
where they've been frequenting. Then, particularly like with the meadows and things like that, but you're not going to hunt the meadows, you're going to hunt sides of them, where they've been frequenting
where
in
they
and
come
out.
out. Especially when they get alarmed, they're going to come out a certain way.
Right.
And they may wander out there grazing or whatever in a different way
Right.
when they're not spooked. But when you got hunters coming through the other side of the meadow or getting up and making coffee and getting around their camp, having something to eat or everything before they go out, that's when they move out the other side. They're going to move directly away from them.
Right. Well, it makes sense.
And yeah, they aren't stupid. They're smart.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
They are not stupid whatsoever.
Especially them old lead cows. They got more sense than...
The bulls do.
That's why the bulls follow them all the time.
Exactly.
It's kind of like my wife. You know, my wife's smarter than I am, so
I wasn't going to say nothing, but hey, you went there.
well, you gotta tell the truth sometimes. You know.
Right. So, I mean, okay, so aside from that, you know, now let's say you're past the first thing in the morning, you're later on in the day, you're later on in the hunt, you haven't seen anything yet. I mean, you found some tracks here or there, you found sign here or there, sound sign, oh my gosh, Josh is going to keep that bit. So what do you do at this point?
Okay, once you reach that point, then the thing to do is look around where they usually cross roads and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I used to do, I can't do it anymore because my legs they just don't hold up to it
Right.
anymore. But we used to get on. You'd see where they crossed that morning or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd get on them and I'd start dogging them, and I would track them and track them and track them until I got, because you track them to where they're going to bed down in the morning, and they'll usually, when there's a lot of hunters out, they're going to bed down in a little more secretive spots than they normally would.
Right.
And that's when you want to follow them real slow and kind of like you're stalking them. And pretty soon if you're real careful and take your time, normally what you see is you'll see the lead cow or one animal standing up in the mix, next to a bunch of them, and they'll wander back and forth, keeping awake and watching.
Right.
And the rest of them will be bedded down.
And then eventually you'll see another one pop up and another one stand up
Right.
and so forth
Exactly.
and so forth.
But that's how I used to hunt a lot of them, get a lot of them that way. And the other thing is I'd track them sometimes down in that hole. And I always swore if I got more than one in a season down there, I was going to leave it there.
Oh, man. That's true.
That was some of the worst terrain down in there. And some places you'd have to get on your hands and knees and try and crawl
Oh,
through.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going down and coming back up
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So, all right, Pops. Well, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. That's all the time we have. And, yeah. Which, by the way, good luck to you on your hunt, sir.
Well, good luck to you guys this year elk hunting over there. I definitely wish I was with you. I'll be there in spirit, if not anything else.
Well, you'll get a chance to go down to the coast, I'm sure, to go put a cow or something down at least, because you can take one over there.
Well, we're going to wait and see what happens here the next few days.
So, All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to y'all here next time on the next edition of Pop's Takes here.
By the way, get out and vote, people.
Yes, get out and vote. So, all right, we will talk to y'all here later on. Have a good one. All right, and we are back. Thank you again for that awesome edition of Pop Stakes there, old man. Always a pleasure. So, yeah, like I said, elk season's coming up, so get ready.
It's always good to hear his expertise. He's got so many years of experience and truthfully, so many animals that he's put down.
Oh, my God, it's insane.
That, I definitely appreciate his expertise. We actually did enlist his expertise while we were up there in the Ochicos and remembered a key fact that we hadn't remembered before that
right.
kind of changed things up for us. Probably would have brought us better luck earlier in the week knowing that, but that was one of the downsides to Pops not being out hunting with us this year.
I know, right? But it's always good to be able to pick his brain too, especially beforehand.
Yep, exactly.
So versus later on like we did during deer season. So, because if we had that information and thought process when we started, our success probably would have been a lot higher. A lot more than 0. That's for sure. So, but anyhow, so that concludes this edition of Pop's Take. So, excuse me, moving on to our news update, good sir. All right. Well, some of you guys maybe look at that picture. That's actually the wrong. There we go. All right. So this one comes to us out of the Drive. This is their the War Zone segment that they use. They call it "Why the Destroyer USS Paul Hamilton Came Home Flying a Flag Flying a Crescent Flag Moon or Crescent Moon Flag." Oh my God, I'm dyslexic tonight. And a long pennant, as you can see in the picture. So, anyhow, last month, the U.S. Navy's Arleigh Burke-class destroyer USS Kidd returned to its home port flying a huge Jolly Roger pirate flag, something his ship is uniquely authorized to do for reasons that they cover in a different piece. Earlier this week, another destroyer in this class, the USS Paul Hamilton, finished up its latest deployment flying a large blue flag with a crescent moon with the word Liberty written inside, as well as a very long pennant with stars and stripes motif, both of which have their own fascinating backstories. Paul Hamilton, also known by its whole number DDG-60, returned to Naval Base San Diego in California on October 13th. The ship had left its home port in January and spent some 9 months at sea, primarily in the Middle East and Western Pacific, traveling approximately 54,422 nautical miles in total, according to the Navy. The ship originally left its port as part of the Teddy Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group, which was tasked with conducting operations in the Western Pacific. The destroyer was detached from that carrier support group after the crew of the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier became stricken with the COVID-19 novel coronavirus, which forced the flat top to head for an extended stay in port in Guam. Paul Hamilton subsequently conducted other operations in the Pacific region, including in the contested South China Sea, before moving on to the Middle East. There it served for a time as the 5th Fleet Ballistic Missile Defense Commander and in the support of international maritime security construct aimed at deterring Iran in the Gulf of Oman. The Navy says the destroyer spent time attached to 4 different carrier groups in total throughout the course of the deployment of these 2 regions, but did not identify any beyond the Teddy Roosevelt Carrier Support Group. I cannot be more proud of this crew and the great work they did in support of American interests in 2 strategic regions, Navy Commander Mark Lawrence, the Paul Hamilton's commanding officer, said in a statement. The crew adapted to the challenges of operating in a COVID environment and performed brilliantly, demonstrating remarkable self-sufficiency and the will to fight that our nation expects from its Navy. By the time the ship returned to San Diego, it has spent exactly 270 days or 9 months away from home, which brings us to the long flowing pennant that it was flying. Navy ships are authorized to hoist this streamer known as the Homeward Bound pennant, after spending that amount of time or more than deployed. The U.S. Navy inherited this tradition from the British Royal Navy. Historically, British crews returning from long voyages would fly long streamers to celebrate that they were heading for their paying off, meaning they were headed home, at which time they would receive their wages. The practice of flying these pennants continued among American ships unofficially through World War II, after which the Navy formally added it to the service's regulations and defined rules for when and how the streamers could be displayed. An online copy of one Navy manual lays out these stipulations. And it quotes, "The Homeward Bound pennant is flown by ships returning from extended overseas tours. The pennant is authorized for display by a ship that has been on duty outside the limits of the United States continuously for at least 9 months. It is hoisted on getting underway for the United States and may be flown until sunset on the day of arrival in a port of destination. The pennant is similar to the commission pennant, but instead of the usual 7 stars, there is 1 star for the first 9 months of overseas duty and 1 star for each additional 6 months. Total length of the pennant customarily is 1 foot for each officer and enlisted crew member who served overseas for a period in excess of 9 months. When the number of personnel produces an unwieldy pennant, the length of the pennant is restricted to the length of the ship." That's a long freaking pennant, especially for a carrier, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Upon arrival in a port for the U.S., the blue portion containing the stars is presented to the commanding officer. The remainder of the pennant is divided equally among the officers and enlisted crew. Unquote. This is actually not the first time that Paul Hamilton has flown the Homeward Bound pennant. The ship's crew has raised it at least twice before, in 2003 and in 2013, after deployments lasting 10 months and a little over 9 months, respectively. But when the Paul Hamilton entered the port of San Diego this time, she was also flying the previously mentioned blue flag with the crescent moon containing the word Liberty. This is what is known as the Moultrie flag or Liberty flag and traces its roots to the American Revolutionary War. Colonel William Moultrie, a South Carolinian and head of the 2nd South Carolina Regiment of the Continental Army, had the banner made up in 1775. His troops prominently flew the flag during the Battle of Sullivan's Island in 1776, where revolutionary forces held their ground against the Royal Navy's attempt to dislodge them, an action that is credited with saving the state's nearby capital, Charleston, from being captured by British forces. Moultrie went on to lead Continental troops in other successful engagements with the British until his capture in 1780. While in captivity, he rejected attempts by the British to turn him to their side and was eventually released in a prisoner exchange 2 years later in 1782. After the Revolutionary War, he became a notable politician in South Carolina's early history. His flag became the basis of the South Carolina state flag. The Paul Hamilton's namesake was another South Carolinian who served in the Revolutionary War and went on to become the 3rd Secretary of the Navy, as well as a notable politician in his own right. 3 destroyers have been named after him, beginning with the Clemson-class USS Paul Hamilton, which was commissioned in 1919 and served in an interwar period before it was scrapped in 1931. In 1943, the Navy commissioned a Fletcher-class destroyer bearing his name. There was also a Liberty ship named after him during World War II. The Navy decommissioned the Fletcher-class USS Hamilton, Paul Hamilton, in 1968. A quarter of a century later, the service brought the name back when it commissioned DDG-60 in Charleston, South Carolina, based on the heritage of its namesake. This Arleigh Burke-class destroyer is authorized to fly the Moultrie flag as its battle flag. Navy values its heritage and traditions, and this is ever reflected in our ship and crew. Navy Lieutenant Junior Grade Tyler Kesterly, a surface warfare officer serving on the Paul Hamilton, said in an interview for an official piece earlier this year, "Paul Hamilton and previous ships with the same namesake helped shape our identity. Our battle flag, the Moultrie flag, dates back to the very beginning of the Revolutionary War. It's a fierce tradition that Paul Hamilton sailors still identify with." As with USS Kidd's formal approval to fly its pirate flag, Paul Hamilton's official sanction to fly the Moultrie flag is now additionally notable, as it comes after the Pentagon declared new policies for the display of flags and other symbols for the entire U.S. military in July. Though intended primarily to ban service members from displaying flags and other items with the Stars and Bars battle flag of the Confederacy, as well as other divisive symbols. There were fears that the ship's crews could be prevented from hoisting the Jolly Roger and other morale-boosting banners. Though concerns certainly remain about how the Pentagon will apply and enforce those regulations, it does not appear to have had any impact on Paul Hamilton's ability to continue flying the Moultrie flag or that of the kids' crew to raise their Skull and Crossbones banner. These instances seem to be good indications that the Navy, at least, is perfectly able to preserve its traditions within the parameters of the new flag rules. End of article.
It's pretty neat that they're still utilizing these old traditions, and it's good that they're still able to partake in them with all the new rules of what can be displayed, what can't be displayed, that sort of thing.
Correct. So, but the fact, it's funny because when I first saw this, I was like, wait a minute, why is a Navy ship flying a crescent moon on a flag? Because, especially with everything that's gone on with the war on terror and stuff, a lot of people associate that crescent moon with other things. And, but getting that little bit of a history lesson on it, the fact that it's the same crescent moon that you see in the South Carolina state flag, it's like, okay, all right. And learning more about the history of it and with things like that, like with the USS Kidd with the Jolly Roger flag as a prime example.
Yep.
Exactly. That's, stuff like that is cool. It's nice to see that some traditions remain alive. And as much as we rag on them, even though they have their sailor boy tendencies with the Navy. Stop it, sailor boy. Jesus Christ. Anyhow.
Well, you do that really well.
Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, my. Anyhow, but no, it's good to see that some military traditions still hold strong, and this being one of them. John, do you have anything to comment on this story?
Not anything absolutely serious. It's pretty cool, the traditions and all that, and it also makes me giggle in some ways. Yes, we are great allies with the British, my kinfolk, but as much as I've dealt with a great rash of shit through my military career, it always warms my heart when you hear about historical stuff for the U.S. military and goes, the U.S. military adopted this from the British military or the British Navy or the British Army or the Royal Marines, and it still continues to this day.
Well, you also have to take into consideration, where, what we got our independence from. Our roots.
I know.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying for our listeners' sake, just
Right.
how much English culture is rooted into our own.
Mm-hmm.
It
Well, it is.
shouldn't be that surprising that these, a lot of these traditions have carried over and still have a prominent role.
Oh, I'm not
in
saying that it's
ours
surprising.
today.
I'm saying that it's highly amusing considering that the rash of shit I constantly get for being English. And, oh, you lost the war. Well, okay.
Well, so did the South, but that's besides the point.
So hang on a second. So the British lost the war, but yet their flag can still be displayed. But the South lost the war, but their flag can't be displayed? What the hell?
Because the British are still a recognized nation.
Oh, trust me, England is going through its own issues,
Yeah.
like Antifa-esque, cancel culture-esque issues.
No, Antifa's just an idea.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just saying, they have, on the grand scheme of things, if you want to talk race wars and stuff like that, the U.S. hasn't done shit to indigenous people compared to what most European nations have done. So, it's pretty, I find that fairly amusing as well. Just ask the Irish.
Oh my God.
And the Scottish, for that matter as well.
Oh, that's yeah. Anyhow, that's another rabbit hole for another discussion at another time. So,
No, I was just making the point that I find it amusing, even still to this day, that I get a rash of shit for being English, and then it's like, oh yeah, we still use these English traditions in our military to this day. It's like,
right. Well, it's like we use the the von Steuben freaking blue book for drill, for drill and ceremony in the army. So French, I'm telling you.
Mhm.
I mean, there are some good things you can learn from them.
Bullshit.
Retreat was never one of them. Hi-oh! Just saying. Anyhow, so with that being said, we are moving right on along. Quarter after the hour. Mariah, you ready?
Yep.
All righty. Hit it, good sir.
I'll spell it for you. D-U-M-M-Y. Shut up, dummy. You big dummy.
For every man, there's a woman.
And for every dummy, there's a dummy. Dummy.
And now, your Dummy of the Week on BV Nation Radio.
All right, so for Dummy of the Week this week, this actually was published on October 16th, 2020 by City News Service. Rapper who boasted on YouTube about getting rich from unemployment fraud gets arrested for unemployment fraud.
Wow.
A rapper boasted on YouTube music video about getting rich from committing unemployment benefits fraud was arrested Friday in Los Angeles on federal charges of carrying out that very scheme by fraudulently applying for more than $1.2 million in jobless benefits, including using stolen identities, federal prosecutors announced.
That was easy.
Frontrella Antino Baez, 31, who uses the stage name Nuke Bizzle, was
Forget
Nuke Bizzle for Rizzle Bizzle.
was arrested on federal charges. Allegedly, he fraudulently obtained unemployment insurance benefits under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Baez, who is from Memphis, Tennessee, and currently resides in the Hollywood Hills, is expected to make his initial appearance Friday afternoon in Los Angeles federal court. The criminal complaint alleges 3 felony offenses. Access device.
Offenses.
That's what I said. Offenses.
Okay.
Access device fraud, aggravated identity theft, and interstate transportation of stolen property. If convicted of all these charges, Banas would face up to 22 years in federal prison, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Prosecutors allege Banas exploited the pandemic unemployment assistance provision of the CARES Act, which is designed to expand access to unemployment benefits to self-employed workers, independent contractors, and others who would otherwise be eligible.
Once you get a job, motherfucker.
According to the affidavit filed with the criminal complaint, Banas possessed and used debit cards preloaded with unemployment benefits administered by the California Employment Department Development. The debit cards were issued in the names of third parties, including identity theft victims, according to prosecutors, who alleged the applicants for the cards listed addresses to which Banas had access in Beverly Hills and Koreatown. Evidence gathered during the investigation established the 92 debit cards that had been preloaded with more than $1.2 million in federally attained benefits were mailed to these addresses. According to the affidavit, Banas and his co-scammers allegedly accessed more than $704,000 of those benefits through cash withdrawals, including including in Las Vegas, and were purchases of merchandise and services. Wonder what services he was purchasing.
Hi-oh. In the wrong hole. I mean, what?
The affidavit further alleges that Banus bragged about his ability to defraud the EDD in the music video posted on YouTube and postings to his Instagram account under the handles NukeBizzle1 and NukeBizzle23.
Oh my lord.
For example, Banus appeared in the music video called EDD, in which he boasts about, quote, my swagger for EDD, and holding up a stack of envelopes from EDD, getting rich by going, quote, to the bank a stack of these. Presumably a reference to the debit cards that were come in the mail, according to the court papers. A second rapper in the video iTunes, you gotta sell cocaine, I just file a claim.
Snorting cocaine.
On September 23rd, the Las Vegas police arrested Banus, who is in possession of 8 debit cards, 7 of which were different names of other people, the affidavit states.
Damn, Daniel.
If you're going to do it, do it big.
Well, you know, it's this whole culture of, hey, let's video and post on social media everything we do in our life is, I mean, great for the police.
I know,
it's
right?
terrific.
Makes it easy to track.
Absolutely, because it's like, okay, well, let's see, you just went and defrauded the government for $1.2 million, and you're going to go ahead and make a music video about it and post it up on your Facebook and Instagram and wherever else. Cool. Well, we know how to find you.
Yeah, right. We'll just trace your YouTube and Instagram and go from there.
See, and he should have to pay back double.
Yeah.
I would be good with that.
Yeah, he should have to pay back double.
Pay back what you took and then rest.
Joe Biden, Kamala Harris supporter. Probably got Joe and a hoe written on his ass cheek.
Damn.
When I was reading the article first off, I was good through the whole thing until I read, you gotta sell cocaine, I just file a claim. I was like, okay, I have to get you. That's a little bit catchy, but still, really?
Well, you know, it's like John said, you know, the Joe and a hoe.
Yep.
Just throwing it out there.
Definitely a Biden supporter.
Idiot. That's all I can say is that idiot.
Probably gonna get bailed out by George Soros. Just watch.
I hope he has to pay.
Who knows, man? Who knows? It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens. So, Mariah, thank you for that piece. Do greatly appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Which brings us to our closing rounds of discussion. And leading us off, as always, Dapper Sapper, you ready for your safety brief, good sir?
Don't sell blow. Just go, cash them bennies, I guess. Or if you're gonna cash bennies, make sure you don't post a rap song about it. Just.
Oh, you've ruined me.
Bennies. But yeah, we still live in the age of COVID, so latex saves paychecks. Don't be a fool, wrap your tool.
Hey.
Don't be your husbands, don't be your wives. If you're out in the woods hunting, like the rest of us are currently right now, well, we'll be here in the not too distant future, stay safe. Go in battle buddy teams, go in a group, wear blaze orange if necessary. Especially, I've never been one to wear blaze orange, but this year, I'm not going to lie, a part of me kind of wanted to at some point, just because of the amount of freaking people out in the woods. But then again, first-time hunters tend to shoot at whatever moves and catches their eye, so it's a catch-22. You might get shot either way.
Who knows? It might be by a 22. You know.
Could be. Anyways, guys, yeah, stay safe out there. There are a lot of people out recreating in the woods, not just hunting. I saw mountain bikers and all kinds of random yahoos out there.
Humping bears.
Stay safe. Don't get COVID, and reach out if you're in your own head. Get out, get off your butt, get out in the woods, and do something.
There you go. The man said it right there. Mariah, what do you got?
I don't have a whole lot this week. John said most of it. If you're going to be staying home or anything like I am, just help out where you can. I'll be taking care of High Tech's mutt for him while he's gone elk hunting again. So he doesn't have to deal with him elk hunting. Other than that, the only thing I have to say is congratulations to Richie on becoming a great grandpa.
For the 11th time.
Yes.
Yeah. A great grandpa or a grandpa? I thought it was a grandpa.
I thought it was great. I don't know. Well, congratulations on new grandchild of some type. So that's always fun.
By God.
As J-Dub knows. And other thing I have to say is if you're going to be out and about, Halloween's next weekend. We will not be on next weekend, so I want to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween.
Booty call, booty call, booty call.
No. And if you're out trick-or-treating, make sure you're being safe and everything like that. And parents, don't forget to check your children's loot when they get home.
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes.
Gotta teach them about taxes early in life. Hey, John, you had something you wanted to add?
Yeah. Happy birthday to the Combat Wombat's other half. I just saw in the comments.
Yep.
It's
Rob's
birthday. So
I was actually gonna mention that.
Oh,
so
my bad.
Oh, you're good, bro. You're good.
How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
That is pretty neat. Josh, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, everybody out there have a great couple weeks here, and probably a couple 2 or 3 weeks here, I guess. And we'll catch you on the other side, and be safe out there, and don't do anything J-Dub wouldn't do.
Which pretty much leaves it very open.
And if you do something,
quite drastically,
don't name it after him.
Yeah, don't name it after me. All right. So, again, thank you guys so much all for tuning in this week. We do greatly appreciate it. And, like Pop said earlier in the show, during the Pop Stakes, hey,
I'm retarded, okay?
Aside from that, be sure to get out and vote. It is an important election this year, as it is with everyone, but particularly this year. So please, 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 please get out, vote. I don't care, honestly, how you do. Well, I do, but I don't, if that makes sense. So
vote for Mickey Mouse or something if you don't want to vote for either party. At least you're voting.
Don't fuck it up, Randy.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't waste
No.
your vote.
Yeah,
No,
don't waste it.
but-
Vote how you truly feel, and vote based off what you think is right.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
That's about the best way I can put it. So anyhow, with that being said, thank you to our friends and sponsors up at Yaaarrrgh Armory and yaaarrrgh.com. Again, be sure to hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube channel and click on the little bell so you know when we upload new content, as well as when we go live with our show, our flagship show here, BV Nation Radio. I will talk to you guys on Tuesday night over there on the Spreaker app for another episode of the Fence Line Country. That is at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, we will talk to you guys after the Sunday after Election Day. And we will talk to you guys then. Why do you look so confused?
No, never mind. Go ahead.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Continue on.
Anyhow, as a man once said, we are...
If you've only got a mustache, a mustache, a mustache. If you've only got a mustache.
All right, guys. In the meantime, have a good one. We will talk to y'all here after Election Day. Have a good one. We out.
This has been another episode of BV Nation Radio here on Backwoods Veterans Media.